Hey guys and girls, this is Jesse with Cisco Academy Help, the video tutorial series that hopefully helps you dive deeper into the world of Cisco. My goal, my hope for this video tutorial series is it helps you understand what they're trying to illustrate to you within the reading materials and how that associates to the labs and packet tracers that you go through each week. This week we are going through Packet Tracer 8.2.5.3, configuring IPv6 addressing. Again, you might find video tutorial series that go through this material much faster. That's not the point here. We are trying to really understand what they're trying to teach you within these packet tracers and try to get as much out of this as possible. So, as we dive into this, I do want to give you a couple quick tips about what you've been learning this week. Okay, so you've been studying IPv4 and you're just learning about multicast addressing. You're learning about unicast and broadcast addressing, right? You're learning about private IP addresses and public IP addresses. You're learning about ANDing. You're learning about all kinds of other stuff. Subnetting, right? Wow, this is all really cool stuff and it's blowing your mind. And then they give you IPv6. Wow, it's a lot of information, right? Don't be afraid. This chapter is very good. You will use it throughout your whole entire career throughout Cisco. So my suggestion would be to take notes. For me, myself personally, when I went through this chapter as well as many other chapters on IPv6 and IPv4, I took notes. I went ahead and I wrote down, I know it's hard to kind of see, but I would write down, the title of the information that I was learning about, what the commands they were trying to tell me, and then I would go ahead and give a quick summary about what the command was. I would also write down even just like the process you would go through to go ahead and configure, things like, for example, this is stateless IPv6 addressing. Very helpful, as well as doing global unicast addressing for IPv6. This stuff is invaluable. I used it throughout all 4 classes within my Cisco Academy for my CCNA. It's very helpful. I suggest you do that so you can at least put it all in your own words so you can illustrate it to yourself so that you'll remember it better. Also, again, the CCNA routing switching handbook. This thing saved my biscuits a couple times. I would go ahead and suggest also putting these tabs here that go ahead and tell you really quickly, hey, how do you, I want information about EIGRP routing protocol. I'd flip to it and I can get to it. Hey, I need to know about HSRP, quickly flip to it. NATing, DHCP, ACLs. You can quickly flip to it, get through that information, and program it quickly as possible into your routing or switcher. You know what I mean. So anyhow, that being said, one last quick tip. I would also suggest getting yourself a dry erase board, about the size of a sheet of paper, and get used to using this. For me, I would use this when I'm just going through my ANDing, my subnetting, all that kind of good stuff. I would suggest, taking time and writing down your IPv4 table here so you can go ahead and do that, as well as your hexadecimal stuff right here on the side. When you go to take your CCNA or your CCNT or ICND1, ICND whichever one you're going to take, they are going to give you a dry erase board just like this to go ahead and do all your work on. They don't want you bringing anything in. They don't want you taking anything out. You won't be able to write until the test starts. So when you first click go ahead and write down this information immediately, just so you can get that out of your mind and onto something so you can refer to it as you're going through all your questions. So again, another invaluable tool that I used and will help you prepare for your test. That being said, let's jump into the packet tracer. Again, this week is configuring IPv6 addressing. All right, our objectives is part 1, configure IPv6 addressing on the router. Part 2, configure IPv6 addressing on the server. Servers, plural, more than one. Part 3, configure IPv6 addressing on the clients, and part 4, testing and verifying your network connectivity. The background for this is in this activity you will practice configuring IPv6 addresses on a router, servers, and clients. You will also practice verifying your IPv6 addressing implementation. Part 1, configure IPv6 addressing on the router. Step 1 in part 1, it says enable the router to forward IPv6 packets. I'm going to tell you this right now. This command, write it down, circle it in your book, make some notes, okay? This command, there's so many times where I forgot to enter this command and it completely brought down my whole network and I didn't understand why. Why can't I ping this address? I have all the information in there properly configured. What's going on? I would look at my show run and at the very top of my running configuration, plain as day, I forgot to enter in this command. So when you first, when you're turning on your routers and switches within your lab, you're plugging everything in, first thing you pop into your mind when you're doing IPv6, type in this command so you don't forget. Okay, so that being said, in A right here, it says enter the IPv6 unicast routing global configuration command. This command must be configured to enable the router to forward IPv6 packets. This command will be discussed later in the semester. I'm discussing it now. Remember this command. It's a really important command. Okay, step 2. Well, let's just go ahead and enter it now. We'll go ahead and go to the command line. Get from our user mode to privileged mode, and then go from privileged to configuration mode. IPv6, unicast, routing. There you go. That's taken care of. Step 2, configure IPv6 addressing on your Gigabit Ethernet 0/0. Okay, to do that, we'll just jump right into interface Gigabit Ethernet 0/0. Again, tab is your friend. It will autofill in the rest of the information if you entered in enough characters that can distinguish itself from another command. Okay, so we are in. Let's go ahead and type in IPv6 because that's what we're trying to configure, IPv6. IPv4, all we have to do is do IP address and then the IP address. Here we have to specify, hey, we are configuring IPv6 addressing. So IPv6 address. Okay, and there they kind of just give us the address right there. So let's type it in, 2001:DB8:1:1:1/64. Remember, the 64 here at the end distinguishes the point in which within the 128-bit address, what is your host addresses and what is your network addresses. Okay, so we'll go ahead and hit enter. There we go. Let's go ahead and type in our link local address, which is the next part. It says configure the link local address for the following command. Remember, link local addresses are locally significant to that interface. It will not be routed out anywhere else. So you can use, for example, they give you FE80::1 on multiple interfaces, and it won't conflict. Obviously, if you're doing multiple subnets within one interface, it helps with configuring having multiple different link local addresses, just so you keep it straight in your mind. But it's only locally significant, so you can use it on all your interfaces. That being said, let's go ahead and enter that command. FE80::1, and then put the special command here at the end, the link local, to let the configuration know that this is a link local address that we just entered in. Press enter. From this point on F right here, it says activate the interface. To do that, we do a no shut or no shutdown, and it brings the interface up. All right, simple enough. Okay, From here, it says configure, step 3, configure IPv6 addressing on Gigabit Ethernet 0/1. Enter the necessary commands to go into the Gigabit Ethernet 0/1. Refer to the addressing table to obtain the correct IPv address and configure the IP address, the link local address, and activate the interface. Okay, so we'll scroll back up here to our table, and we'll just jump right into the interface by typing int G 0/1. Okay, we're in that interface now. They'll just jump from one interface to the other. You don't have to type exit, go back down to local configuration mode, and then jump back into that interface. Sometimes you want to do that just to ensure that you're jumping into that interface, but you don't have to. You can just jump right from one interface to the next interface when you're in the global configuration mode. Okay, so we'll type in the Gigabit Ethernet 1 interface, which is right there. There's the IP address. Again, IPv6 address 2001 DB8 1:2:1 for our default gateway /64, and enter, and do our locally significant link local address. So IPv6 address 2001 FE80::1 link local. There we go. Then bring the interface up by typing no shut, and the interface is up. From here, we go down to, what is it, step 4? Yep, step 4. Okay. Configure the IP address on serial interface 0000. Enter the command necessary to transition from interface to interface serial 000. Refer to the addressing table to obtain the correct IPv address, configure the IPv6 address, the link local, and activate the interface. So we'll scroll back up to the top here and look at our serial interface 000, and there is our address for that. So we'll just jump directly into that interface by typing int /0/, or sorry, well, yeah, /. There we go. And then we're in. Type IPv6 address. The address is 2001 DB8 ::A001:2/64. There we go. All right, from this point, we'll do the link local address, IPv6 address FE80::1 link local, and then type the no shut to bring the interface online. And from here, we can go ahead and exit out, or we can press Control-C and go back down to privilege mode. And let's just do a show IPv6, because we want to see IPv6 addressing interface brief to take a look at our addressing. From here, you can see you have your Gigabit Ethernet 0/0. We see we have the link local address right there, the FE80. We can see that the addressing right there for the default gateway. And then we can also see that it is up and up, as well as the Gigabit Ethernet 0/1. And then we can also see the serial interface with the link local address for that, as well as the traditional default gateway right there. Also, we can go into show run from here. We can easily see that up here at the top of the full running configuration that you have your IPv6 unicast routing. Lets you know that unicast routing is enabled. And we can come down to the actual interfaces, and you can see right here it says no IP address, which means you have no IPv4 addresses, but you do have your IPv6 addresses right there. And again, you don't see a shutdown, which lets you know, like for example here on the Gigabit Ethernet 0/2 interface, that it is shut down. So we know that the interfaces are up and running right here as well. And we have both addresses for there. We can spacebar down and we get to the serial interface, and we can see the same information there. Q to exit back out. Okay, I believe that's everything for the router. Let's go ahead and scroll back through part 1. And sure enough, we have completed part 1. Let's go to part 2, configuring IPv6 addressing on the servers. Step 1, configure IPv6 addressing on the account server. Okay, to do that, we'll go and we'll click on account. And what they're going to step you through is go ahead and click on the desktop. We're going to go to IP configuration. And again, you have two different configurations that you can make here. You can make the traditional IPv4 configuration here at the top, and then below here you have the IPv6 configuration. And it gives you three different options: do static, your auto configuration, or DHCP. For this addressing, we're doing static addressing because we don't want the address to change. We're not going to have anything issued to us, and we don't want it to auto configurate. We want it to be a static IP. From here, we can go ahead and type in the address that they're giving us, which is 2001 db8 :1 :1 :4 slash, which you go for the slash 64 over here to the right, 64. And as you can see, for the link local address that they have right here, it has already automatically created one. If you don't enter one, it'll just automatically configure one. In this case, we're going to go ahead and put the link local address, which you wouldn't typically do, in the gateway right here. For some reason, we just want to do that with this lab. So just to kind of give you a heads up. So we'll type in FE80 ::1. And then hit X, exit out, and we've completed for the accounting server, the addressing. We'll do that for the CAD server now. Same thing, we'll click on CAD, we'll click on desktop, go to IP configuration. Again, you have the two different types of configuration, IPv4, IPv6. We're clicked on static, that's what we want to be clicked on. We'll go ahead and we'll scroll up to the addressing table that it gives us here. And for that, for CAD, is sitting right there. So we'll type it in, 2001 db8 :1 :2 :4. Again, the slash 64 goes over here on the right side. Again, it automatically gave you a link local address, but we're not going to mess with that. We'll just go ahead and type our link local address here in the IPv6 gateway. And that's that. We'll exit out. We'll exit out of here. Now we should be going down to part 3, configuring IPv6 addressing on your clients. So to do that, I'll just walk you through. We'll go ahead and we'll click on sales first. We'll scroll back up to our addressing table because we're going to need to see all of these for each one of the clients. So we'll click on desktop, click on IP configuration. Again, we want to be on static IP, so we'll type in 2001 db8 :1 :1 :2 /64, and in the default gateway, we'll type in the link local address ::1. Again, it's just special for this lab that we're doing that. You don't typically do that. You usually typically type the link local address and the link local address here. We'll exit out of there, go to billing, desktop, click on the billing address, 2001 db8 :1 :1 what is it? 3, yep, /64, gateway FE80 ::1. There we go. Exit out of that. We'll do the same for design now. Go to desktop and go to IPv6 address. Static is highlighted, or click that is, db8 :1 :2 :2/64. FE80 will be our default gateway, :1, Exit out of that. Do the same thing for engineering. Go to desktop, IP configuration, IPv6 configuration static is clicked. Typing the address 2001 db8 :1 :2 :3/64. The IPv6 default gateway will be FE80. Just to kind of give you a heads up, it is not case sensitive, your IP address for IPv6. The case does not matter, so you can do uppercase, lowercase, doesn't matter. Okay, so at this point we've finished part 3. Now we'll go down to part 4, which is test and verify your network connectivity. Step 1, open the server web pages on the clients. Click Sales. Click Sales over here. We'll go to Web Browser. Click on Web Browser. And it says at this point to go ahead and enter in the IP address for the accounting web server. So 2001 db8 :1 :1 :4. We click go or press enter, and sure enough, look at that. We have the accounting server. And we'll go ahead and we'll repeat the same steps as it says right here for the CAD server. So we'll go ahead and I'll just backspace real quick. :2 :3 was it? Or 4? I think it was 4. Yep, 4 right there. That's what it said. We'll type go or click go, that is, and sure enough, CAD server. Perfect. It says repeat steps 1A through 1D for the rest of the clients. We'll go and we'll just check it over here on the design side. We don't have to go through every single one. Oops. Web browser 2001 db8 :1 :1 :4. Enter. There we go. Perfect. There's the accounting server, and we'll do the same thing for the CAD server. Sure enough, very good. All right. Step 2, ping the ISP. Open up any client computer configuration window by clicking the icon. Click the desktop tab, command prompt, which we'll go ahead and we'll do that. So we click desktop, command prompt. Now we're in the command prompt. It's as simple as that. Test the connectivity to the ISP by entering the following command: ping 2001 db8 :1 :A 001 :1, and then the enter command. Sure enough, we are pinging. You can see how many bits you're pinging. You can see the time to live right here, the milliseconds that it takes to go ahead and ping. That's pretty good. No lost packets. Repeat pinging command on other clients until full connectivity is verified. But we'll go ahead and we'll click over here on sales, and we'll do the same thing from here. Ping 2001 db8 :1 :A 001 :1. Press enter. Sure enough, we can ping. Excellent. And again, with the IP config, you can see the let me do IPv6/all. There we go. Okay, so we can see all the information on the IP addressing as well as the link local that is assigned to it right there. And it kind of gives you some information about that. So right there, we've completed the tutorial for today. I hope this was informative. Again, if you have any questions or issues or anything that I missed or didn't explain properly, please let me know. You can contact me at notciscoacademyhelp@gmail.com. You can leave comments within the video as well. If you like this, please like it. If you want more videos like this, please subscribe. So that being said, thank you again. Again, this stuff will become easier. Do not get overwhelmed. I know it's easy too, especially if this is your first type of class into networking. Don't get frustrated. I guess that's a thing I can't ask you to do, but to just realize it will become easier over time. Again, my name is Jesse, and thank you so much for washing, yes, definitely washing, but watching, and have yourself a great day. Bye.